In this video, we are going to take a full look at Cloudways, a managed hosting platform by DigitalOcean. I'm Andrew and let's get started. So here we are in the Cloudways website. As I said, it's a company by DigitalOcean, which is a very famous hosting company. So it's coming from something big and reputable. And there is a difference between Cloudways and other hosting companies. Cloudways is focused on creating a layer on top of other hosting plans from other big companies, for example, DigitalOcean, which is the parent company. So now we are going to take a look at the plans. You can see that you can get services from DigitalOcean, AWS, Amazon AWS, and Google Cloud. So the company itself is not hosting your website, but rather it allows you to create a plan from a different service provider, for example, the DigitalOcean, the parent company. And then you can just use that service. And now you might ask, okay, why should I do this? For example, why should I get my plan from Cloudways and not from DigitalOcean itself? And if you just search DigitalOcean and see the plan, it's just going to be cheaper. So if I just bring DigitalOcean and products and droplets, which are virtual environments, and bring basic, and here what we are looking at in Cloudways, starting plan service is this 1 GB of RAM. So if I just see it here, it's $6, but you're actually paying $14. So the first thing that you have to know is that this is the same server from here as far as the technical specification goes, but you have a rich management layer on top of your raw server that allows you to easily create different kind of applications with the best configuration. So you can easily launch your WordPress website and you will be sure that you are using your server in the most effective way, something that you can never probably set it up yourself if you want to just start from the raw server, from the base server, and just allows you to launch a WordPress website with just a single click, and then you can just add more websites and have all of them running in your single server. You can back up your server automatically. You can also expand your server vertically, meaning add more resources anytime that you want and nothing will break and it will be just very easy. So you have all of these things as a layer on top of the base raw service provided by DigitalOcean. So this is for DigitalOcean. The same goes for Amazon AWS, which is even harder to configure. So it really requires more technical knowledge to set up, and also Google Cloud, which is somehow similar. So you're getting an extra management layer on top of your base server. Now, the same thing goes for other plans. So you are always adding extra money somehow, roughly around 2 times the base price of the server. It's not always 2 times, usually lower. So for example, for this 16 GB, you are paying $170 per month for 60 GB of RAM and 8 core. And the same thing here is this one. So 8 core, and you can see it's $96 and 320 gigabytes of storage. So again, it's somehow a little less than double the amount, but this extra price is for the infrastructure that you're getting on top of the base plan. And in this video, I'm just going to show you what you are actually getting on top of the base plan and whether or not it's worth it. So we are just going to set up a WordPress website and just make a test and see how it works and how you can add more features. Now, if you want to do the same thing with just DigitalOcean, you just have to configure everything manually, and that can be really hard because when you just purchase one of the servers, you have the server, you have the credentials, so you can connect to your server, to your Ubuntu server, but you don't have anything there. So you have to install the web server, you have to install a database, you have to configure it, and really configuring these things can be really hard and hard to maintain. So if you're not a server specialist, which most developers are not, then it's just going to be very hard. Now, one other thing that you might ask is that what's the difference between Cloudways and other managed WordPress solutions? Because there are lots of managed WordPress solutions out there. Now, the first thing is that also managed solutions are giving you higher prices because they are not giving you these base prices for servers. So this is the first thing that you have to notice. So if you are comparing it with a managed solution, you should know that they are also not cheap. So you are also adding extra money there. But the difference is that here you have lots of freedom because it's just getting a raw server for you and doing the configuration, but it allows you to just manage it and have different things. For example, you can have as many websites as you want, as much as your server allows. So your server, meaning that your users and your visits are not that high and your servers can support that. But in managed WordPress hosting, this is not the case. So when you get a plan, you only get one WordPress website per that plan. And this is a difference and other things. So here you have much more freedom than just ordinary managed WordPress websites, because this is not just specific to WordPress. You are getting a rich layer on top of a powerful server, and that's really cool. So let's get started and see what we can do. So here I'm logged in and I'm just using my 3 days trial, and you can just get 3 free days trial very easily. So if you just click on start free and add your email address, you can get 3 days trial without any credit card. So that's really cool. So it allows you to just see the panel and test the server. So you can launch servers up to 4 GB RAM and you can just see how it works, whether or not it's for you and all of that. So that's really great. So now I'm just logged in into my server and we are going to see what we can do. Now this is the administration panel of your server. Of course, you can have your chat here, so you can easily schedule a call or schedule it for later, and you can just talk to your account manager and ask questions. So that's really great. You have your notifications here in Cloudways bots. You have your what's new and your recent things. They have a referral that you can just get money by referring this application. So it's really cool. Now, what we are going to do is to just create an application. So here, as you can see, we do not have any server. So you can create a server. A server basically just reserves a server in the company that you choose and purchase it for you. And then you can just manage it directly in Cloudways. The billing is in Cloudways. Everything is in Cloudways. But it's just going to manage it for you, and you can have different applications in a single server. So you just create one server, but then you can have as many applications, for example, WordPress instances as you want. So we can just click on add server. And here, as you can see, by default, it's on WordPress. Now, we are just going to focus on WordPress, but we have other things. For example, we have Laravel application or plain PHP applications. So you can have all of them, and also you can select WooCommerce. But basically, when you just select WordPress, you can easily install WooCommerce on top of it. And we also have clean no Cloudways optimization, which just gives you a pure server without any application installed on it. But you usually don't want to do that. So we are just going to select WordPress. And then we have our application name. So let's just type demo. And then we have our server name. So let's just call it demo server. And our project name, again, demo project. Let's call this one demo application or demo app to be consistent. So here we are going to create a server and also an application on top of it. Then we have our service provider. I'm just going to use DigitalOcean here, but you can use Amazon AWS or Google. Now these are locked for the free trial. They're not available, but we can just use DigitalOcean in the free trial. Then we have our server size. So this is per RAM of server. So we have 1 GB of RAM, 25 GB of NVMe disk, which is really fast and cool, and your transfer amount. Now I'm just going to use this 4 GB, which is the maximum amount that I can have. So this is 4 GB premium with faster cores. We also have ordinary 4 GB again. So when you have this little clock icon, it just means with faster cores, and this is a premium one. Then you have your location. So we have different locations. Let's just use New York, and you can just use something that is closer to your target audience, but really doesn't matter much. The performance is great everywhere. You can use CDNs to even out the performance, so that's okay. Now we can just click on launch. Now you can see the pricing. So it's the hourly pricing here and also the monthly. So we have $54 per month. This is the pricing that you have to pay. And now I can just click on launch now. Now, don't worry if 54 is a lot for you. You can always start smaller and then upgrade your plan as your website reaches more users and as you need more resources. So we can here start with the base plan and just launch our website, and then you can just scale at any time. And I think it's better that we just do it. So let's just start with 1 GB. Let's just do it this 1 GB premium, the second plan, and launch our website. But you know that you can always scale your website anytime required, and that's awesome. So let's click on launch now. And then we have the referral. It's just okay. And now it's just adding my server. And it just says your server will be ready in approximately 7 minutes. So we have to just wait for 7 minutes and then we can just continue our work. So now the build is finished and we have our server. So here, if you bring your panel and in total servers and view all servers, you can see that we have our server is live. And if I just click on this, you can see that we have a single application here. Now you can add more applications if you wish. And of course, a single project is associated with this server and no team member has been added, because you can add team members and multiple people can collaborate on a project. And this is also one of the cool features of this platform. So here, if I click on my demo app, you can see that we have the details and we also have a temporary domain address. So I can just click on it, and that's really cool because now I haven't pointed any domain here. You can of course do it. It's very easy. So you just have to purchase a domain from another company, because here we do not have any domain registration. You have to purchase it and then just point it to Cloudways the same way just you do it in any other company. So that's the exact same process. So here we have our website, and I can just log in into my dashboard. So WP-admin. And then I have to just see what are my credentials. So here we have the credentials for the database and for the administration panel. So here we have our username. I can just copy it. And I have my passport. I can just copy it or see it. And then of course I am logged into my admin panel. Great. So you have a fully functional WordPress website with cache enabled. So this is also another very cool things of this, because setting up proper caching can be tricky, but here you have the caching out of the box, so it just works with your server and it's just ready. So everything is just fine and you can just start working with your website. So let's just test the speed of this website to see how it's actually performing. So if I just copy the URL, I'm just going to bring GT metrics and let's just paste our address and click on test your site. Now this is with the default theme and we are just going to see how it performs. So here is the result. As you can see, it's 8 and 98% performance. It's really fast, as you can see, and everything is just great. So you can see that out of the box, and even with minimum server, because we purchased 1 gigabyte optimized or server. So that's the second plan that you get, the pretty cheap plan, but you can see that the performance is great. And the good thing is that you can always upscale your server at any time very easily. So we have it, and we have the credentials for database, for admin panel. So you have access to everything. You have your public IP address. So we have a dedicated IP address here. That's great. Now, of course, it's set up so that in a way that we cannot use this IP address to access our website for security measures. So you have to use the domain, but you have a dedicated IP address. And then we have staging. Now, another feature of this platform is the staging. And what it allows you to do, we are not going to use it, but basically it allows you to change your website in a staging environment. So you have your website, you want to change something, you change some code or do something, and you want to make sure that you're not affecting the live website until you are sure that your changes are okay. So we have this staging environment, which is a really cool feature. We have monitoring built in, so we have traffic monitoring, PHP, MySQL, disk usage, so we have everything. Now, these are the things that you do not get in ordinary, or not as cool as this is. So we have IP requests and the number of each one. So you have some of this analytics in some server providers, but here it's really rich and easy to use. We have vulnerability scanner, we have bot protection, domain management. Again, you have to just purchase a domain and just point it. We have cron job for tasks that you want to be done in certain times. We have this certificate, we have backup and restore. So we have lots of tools and features. For example, you can deploy via Git. If you're familiar with Git and GitHub, you can just use it. We have some migration tools. You can set up Cloudflare. All of these are available, and you can just easily back up and restore. So all of these features are available out of the box, while if you just purchase a plain server, you do not get these features. And even if you buy a managed WordPress hosting, you don't have as much as flexibility that you have here. So that's really great. So if I just bring my server and click on it, here we have the setting for our server. You have the credentials for just directly connecting to your servers. So in managed WordPress hosting, you cannot directly connect to your server, and also you do not have a public, dedicated public IP address, but here you have. So you are getting benefits of managed WordPress hosting, but with the freedom and power of virtual servers. So you have a virtual server, you can easily connect to it using these credentials, or set up public keys, or launch web terminal here. So you have all of them. So all of these features are available to you. You have the flexibility of virtual servers, but also you have the ease of use and features and different things that you get in a managed WordPress hosting. So that's great. You have monitoring. You can monitor your whole server, not your we saw the monitoring for your specific application, but here you can monitor your whole server. You can manage different services. So we have, of course, Apache server and Nginx and Redis and PHP-FM. So as you can see, it's using a combination of both Apache and Nginx for supreme experience. Also, we have Redis and Memcache. So that's great. So usually when you even use wizards, you only get Apache or Nginx, but here we have the combination so that you can get very good performance. So that's awesome. Also, you're getting varnish. And you have setting and packages. So here you can manage your PHP settings and packages very easily. So that's really great. You have MariaDB for your database, a very performant SQL database. And you have a Rabbit. You can install RabbitMQ if you wish for servers for 4 gig or more for managing your queues. Very great. We have security, and we can just here add IP addresses, blacklist IP addresses, or whitelist them. So we have that. We have vertical scaling, so you can easily scale your server. Click on scale now, and your plan changes. Your website stays the same. So that's awesome. We have backups and your backup settings. So by default, it's just doing one backup per day and just keeps backups for 1 week. You can change the setting. For example, you can set it to 6 hours. Each 6 hours you get a backup, and you can also increase the retention, and it's just going to use your storage on your server. So you can have all of these features out of the box. It just makes it very easy for you to manage your website. Whereas if you want to just do these things yourself, it's just going to be very hard. Things can break, security vulnerabilities can happen. But here, everything is just easy. You can set up SMTP email and send test mail. So very, very easy to roll. You have to know, of course, these things. So if you are a complete beginner, then it can be overwhelming for you. But if you know some things about web hosting and servers, then you really will enjoy this plan on how you can just use it. You can also stop, restart, or delete, or add another application. Now, this is something that I really love, because just when you create a server, you can add other applications onto it very easily. This is something that you cannot do with managed hosting. You cannot add more applications. You just have to buy another server. And if you just set up a server, and because some of these server providers allow you to install WordPress, for example, onto a server, but you cannot add more WordPress website. You just have to get another server. But here you can have multiple websites all under the same server, under the same IP address. That's totally fine. You can just do it because you have different domains for each application, and then you can just deal with a single server and multiple applications on it. So this was our review and how you can use it and set up a WordPress website. As you saw, it was very easy. And here I'm just going to present to you my final thought and whether or not it's worth the extra money that you're paying, and whether or not you should consider using Cloudways. So the answer is different for your usage and how much you're familiar with server management and what you want to build. So if you are a total beginner and you do not have any idea of server management, this might not be the best option for you, because you're not using lots of the tools that are available to you, unless you will just have someone to just use the tools and extend your website. For example, if you just want a WordPress website live out there and backups and that's it, then there are other options. Still, you can use it, because you can just set up the WordPress website like this, point your domain and use the backups. But what I want to say is that you're not going to use most of or almost most of the features that you get from this platform. So you're not really using it the way you should. Now, if you know something about server management, something about servers, for example, you know these ideas, but you don't know how to set it up. For example, you know what Redis is, you know what is caching, you know some of these things about server management, but you do not know how to correctly implement them. This is going to be very awesome for you, because you know something and you probably want to extend your website, add more features, add more robust services to it, but you exactly don't know how you have to manage all of these things. Then it's just going to really shine and you will really benefit from this service on top of your website. On the other hand, if your website is very large and you have a team and you just want to use a very expensive server, then maybe you can just set it up yourself, because you exactly know what you are doing. Maybe you have someone just responsible for this sort of things and you know these technologies and you can set up a server in a correct way. Then you probably don't want to just use this service, because when your pricing goes higher, then the extra money that you're adding to your base plan also increases, and this is really a matter of choice. So you should decide yourself that whether this extra money is worth it, or you can just manage it yourself, because of course you can do all of these things yourself, but you have to just decide which way you want to go. And that's it, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel for more WordPress content. And like always, you can reach our team from the link in the description.